Yes, good afternoon. I have reflected very well before I have to decide to come live to speak to you people on something that is very critical. It is troubling, it is annoying, it is vexing, and frankly, it has caused so much pain and suffering to our people, to our homeland, and at times make us a ridicule to those who in one way or the other wants to give their backing to the whole concept of self-determination and the issue of freedom for our people. For a very long time, when I come online to speak, those who have ulterior motives, and some of them will be watching me speaking now, others will take this video and send to them, which of course is okay with me, will find a way to attack my character without any factual basis. They will throw anything at me, hoping that something will stick. The vast majority of you people watching me might not be of my age group or my generation. And I understand that. The vast majority of you watching me are people who do not do research. You allow others to come up with their opinions and dish it out to you as facts, which you in turn believe not only what they have said to you, but you trust them, not knowing that they have been lying to you all along. I am deeply troubled. I am troubled because what I will say here might not mean anything to those whose ulterior motive is to make sure that those who have died for the cause of freedom in our homeland must die in vain. I am troubled. I am troubled because when I came up with the idea of us defending ourselves, I was looking at the possibility of exposing our conflict, our plight, our hardship, our suffering to the global community. Because I can assure you, the way this world works, you can demonstrate peacefully with peace leaves as many times as possible. Nobody cares. You will be gunned down. The highest you will hear diplomats in Yaoundé will say, they will talk about restraint. And life goes on. They will continue doing business with the regime in Yaoundé. Those of you who are of my age group will remember the story of Francis Cook, the female U.S. ambassador who stood up against the Biya regime. But at the end of the day, what happened? Nothing changed. Yes, she was labeled and all types of stuff were thrown on her. And somewhere along the line, Mrs. Cook wasted her time because the John Frundi and others who have stood up for what they call democracy themselves became sellouts because they did not understand that what they were getting into was not an easy walk in the park. It was a lifetime commitment in which they will have to decide to sacrifice as much as Albert Woma Mukong did, having a little bit to enjoy in his last days, or go the other way of pretending to be tenacious, to be tough against the system, so that the system can co-opt them. and they will forget about the people's children who have sacrificed so much for them. I am a very, very, very angry person. The only thing I am fighting against now is letting this anger turn to bitterness. How did we find ourselves where we are today? How did we reach this level? We are here because those of you who joined this struggle, you were carried away by the concept of burning tires, blocking roads during the so-called pro-democracy upheavals in the Cameroons. You were unable to understand that a liberation struggle and political change per se are two different things. And that when it comes to political change, some regimes will find a way to co-opt those who are involved. When it comes to liberation struggles, most regimes will not only carry out a brutal crackdown, they will go to any length to exterminate whole communities without any mercy. A mixture of these two brought us where we are today. I have brothers who slept with me on the same bed in government high school in Victoria, who know exactly what I have done in the annals of the Southern Cameroon struggle, who came to the United States using DV lottery. And when they arrived here, the only time they became part of the struggle was when they thought their brother from the same clan has risen to a position of power, a position of what they call authority. This is why we are here today. I remember the days when a medical doctor in Germany from Mankong origin, who knows himself very well, will donate $25,000 at that time to the AGC, Ambazonia Governing Council. And instead of collecting that money and making good use of it, it became a propaganda watchdog on Facebook. They use it to put on Facebook. They use it to mock at me and the SYL. And it didn't take long when that very brother who, from the bottom of his heart, gave this amount of money, became part and parcel an enemy to the AGC, which later on became AGOFC. This is how we find ourselves where we are today. As if that was not enough, those of you who came on board this struggle acted as if you were just starting it all over. You forgot about the sacrifices of Albert Woman Mukong. You forgot about the sacrifices of Ambassador Martin Ekogo Epie. You forgot about the sacrifices of Ngek Simon Kui. You forget about the sacrifices of Kang Zakaria Ndifo. You forgot about the sacrifices of Philip Tete. All those men and women, Grace Yaya Kui, men and women who stuck out their necks at a time when most of you were enjoying your lives, either out here abroad or back home in the Southern Cameroons or somewhere in La République du Cameroon. You forgot about them entirely and acted as if you want to start a struggle of your own. You were insulting God, the very God that you carry a Bible on Sunday and said you are worshiping. You were turning against our forefathers to whom we have poured libation in Kumbo, in Bafut, at Ekondo Titi, in Victoria, behind Mankong Palace. You turn against them. The very custodians of our tradition. You turn against all of these people. Because you thought that you were abroad. You can put on suits. You can buy any car on loan with any amount as long as you have what they call a good credit record. You can even take any house which could be seized from you the day you stop paying mortgage or you become difficult for you to pay. And you thought that makes you enough and makes you a specialist in liberating the people of the Southern Cameroons. That is why we are here today. I remember my younger brother, Pastor, what's that his name again? Pastor Tekere, who is in London, whom I have gone into his house, sat in a meeting with Comrade Cho Ayaba and him. And our other brother who is in Kondenge for so long now. He didn't turn against me. A man of God who forgot about the very principles of the Bible became so politically immersed that he forgot to realize that politics and liberation are two different things. And that liberation must precede politics. But when politics precede liberation, the liberation fails. That is why we are where we are today. You called me names. You accused me of bribery. What did you not do? You insulted me. Even when we went to school, our own brother in South Africa, Milan Atam, decided to insult us as empty PhDs. I don't know whether he actually understands what it takes to achieve a doctorate degree. The level of research you have to do. The midnight candle you have to burn. That someone will go to prison, fed with human feces and urine, sexually molested by female gendarmes. A few days ago, you people were shouting when you saw how they were beating this young musician from La République du Cameroon you call Longue Longue. And it was a shock to most of you. You acted as if you are not aware that is what La République did to me. That in the first few hours of my kidnapping from Jakiri to Kumbu, I was beaten 150 strokes of that machete in that same format. After that, they took plastic bags, plastic, which you, Ambazonians, knew. Plastic bags like this, set it on fire and allow the droplets on my thighs. I have the marks here. I have said it in several meetings that if people want to see it, I will undress myself for them to see it. For it to drop on my body. Then after that beating, they put sharp gravels in front of the Kumbo Brigade, Gendarmerie Brigade. And they asked me to sing and dance, pour beer before God. Most of you did not feel that pain. You did not show that outrage when that was done to me, to my person, to my body, because I was sacrificing to free you people from a scourge of wickedness, from bondage. But you were able to show so much sympathy to Longue Longue. This is why we are where we are today. You caught and brought tribalism, which you have practiced from La République, into this struggle. And when I say this thing is going to cause us a bigger problem, you said, shut up, Dr. Akwanga. What do you think you know? And what did you do? You said county by county. Because you thought thought that will take away any level of support that can come to Dr. Akwanga, and in another extent to Cho Lucas Ayaba. This is the reality. This is how you broke county by county, which now tribalized the entire struggle. It became an issue of ethnic groups. The Momo people will group together. They go into the meetings. They speak only in Momo. I don't know which of the languages they speak. It might not be Ngi. It might not be Oshe. It might be the Greater Mogamo. That is how you destroy the struggle. The Mankong people go and hold their meeting. I remember one time Ayaba came here. We actually paid him transport. Flight. That flight was paid by Nelson Banga. He came into the United States and went into one Mankong meeting where the people have to do contributions to Ayaba behind the scene. Southern Cameroons must win this war. How are you going to win a war when you have turned everything to tribalism? Oh, I need to support my brother so that when tomorrow things are fine, he will think about me. Is that not the spirit of what we are trying to escape from La Republic? That is why we find ourselves where we are today. Look at Pini. We set up a full self-defense unit at Pini. The Pini people in South Africa said Dr. Akwanga is not from Pini. They have just no knowledge about self-defense. We were not intimidating or attacking the Pinyin people. They did not come to join and tell Dr. Akwanga that we can help you since this is our area to see how we can structure things well. They said no. Sokadev should leave. They will run Pinyin. What happened to Pinyin? More Pinyin children have been killed. More destruction has taken place. And the entire estuary from Pinyin, Santa, all of that area is no longer fully under our control. That is why we find ourselves where we are today. I don't speak Lamso, but I have a stronger root in the Bui area. But when I discovered that there was a lot of infighting in the Bui area, which was leading to the death of my junior brothers and sisters, my sons and daughters, even great people who have fought in the struggle, I pulled away myself from that area. I pulled myself away, thinking that it will save the lives of young men and women who were still dedicated to fight for this struggle. And what happened? A conflict leading between an outfit of the so-called interim government and the ADF led to the killing of people's children. To the best of my knowledge, some were even buried alive. Not by La Republique, by us. Burying our own alive. Some of us thought that we need to outdo the records of Sam Bukari and Fode Sanko of Sierra Leone. Killing our own. And who were those putting in that money? People from abroad. They thought that is how they will be able to make a name for themselves. And that is why they normally say in English that bullies are cowards. You can't succeed in a liberation struggle if you go down that road. That is why we are where we are today. What haven't you done? What haven't you done? Today, whether it is Ngong Emmanuel or it's Langa Daniel, I don't know, Capo Daniel, as some people will call him, was used to attack me in his days within the ADF. My junior man, Lucas Asu, was used to attack me. In fact, they sent out attack machines. They did not only attack me, they accused me, they insulted me, they did all types of things. I was Swiss cake, I was Swiss this, I was this and that. At the end of the day, even as the Swiss are no longer there, who are those suffering? Southern Cameroonians. Who are those in pain? Southern Cameroonians. It is the same route that some others took against Canada. without learning our lessons. That is why we find ourselves where we are today. I have gone through all types of torture from La République that I can swallow. Because I understand that they think I want to take away something that they are feeding from. And that something is my homeland, where I was born, where my umbilical cord was buried. Even ISIS, I've said it. Even in my case against La République, sexually molested by female gendarmes, put on a balançoire. They set even fire. At the time, they were burning me with plastic bags, droplets on my body. They held my head here and put it on fire. They were putting and removing, putting and removing, putting and removing. I was not only inhaling the smoke, the fire was burning my eyes. My father died at 87. He never put on this. But from time to time, I'm compelled to put on this. The only reason I wear this is because of each one of you who call yourselves Southern Cameroonians or Ambazonians. Yet you mock at me. You spat at me. You insulted me. You turn yourself like the Jews who turn against Jesus. Because they could not believe that a carpenter's son, whom they know the brothers and sisters, could be the Messiah. What haven't you done? Some of you come into this struggle. You create self-defense units while Sokadef is there. And then you come back to me to ask me to advise you how you can run the unit. Is that not chaos? See where we find ourselves. You were the same people who were running beside limousines when Comrade Ayok was outside. You were clapping Papa Ele Yayayo. You were making our brother to puff up his chest, to make him a king while he has no kingdom, with all his team. Nobody wanted to listen to me. I was the outlier, the one who wants power. So we won't listen to him. You run beside Comrade Ayok from left to right. Now you are the same people who are not only praying, you are doing whatever it will take for Ayok and his team to die in the hands of the enemy. Because you are not doing the right thing. In this very house that I am speaking, there are Ambazonians who came here to meet me, who are my seniors in government high school in Victoria, who know exactly what I can do and the determination to free our people. Why did they come to Maryland? They didn't come to see me. They came because they were invited by Morris. Yet, they did not only come to the Morris invitation, they came to see Akwanga. Do you know where they gave their donations when the time came? It wasn't to Akwanga. We ate together. We drank together. They told stories of my bravery, how things were good, how I am determined, how if people stand beside me, why they themselves were unable to line up beside me to deliver the goods. I come from nowhere. My father is not Foncha, Muna, Endeli. I have no background. No godfather in La République du Cameroon. So why should they line up behind me to do the right thing? That is why we find ourselves where we are today. The vast majority of you people have become useful idiots. This is a terminology that is used to describe people who are used by the Russian Federation to spy against themselves, to turn against their own interests for peanuts or for nothing at all. Useful idiots. Because the vast majority of you people have not collected money from La République. You haven't taken anything from them. But you have done things that are worse than those who have even collected money from La République. In fact, things that are worse for us as a people to the benefit of La République du Cameroon. That is why we are useful idiots. I have seen pastors who read the Bible upside down. That is how they quote it. Pastors, there are so many of them in Argov C, so many of them in the interim government. So many. So many of them. I will call these two outfits out because this is where the greatest chaos has come from. This is why we find ourselves here, where when a single person of ours is arrested in a foreign country without even trial, no matter the circumstances of his arrest, the vast majority will rush online and start attacking and condemning as if their own day will not come. Without waiting, you don't need to give support to that individual. But you need to understand that we are in this together. Especially when we have refused to listen. I decided to teach international humanitarian laws to the fighters. I did my best. I took the risk which could lead to my arrest in a foreign country, to make sure our fighters will understand that our last line of defense are our people. I even had a meeting at Trump Hotel here in the United States with Colonel Banqui, whom I know is a murderer. In the open, I went there with Nelson Banga and I made sure I recorded Colonel Banqui at a time when everyone was saying Banqui has come to kill people in America. I said, the boys and the girls on the ground are taking more than enough risk. My own life is not more important than theirs. I will meet with Banqui to hear what he has to say and for me to talk to him directly. I met with him at Trump Hotel. And Banqui said, we are so grateful that you are teaching your boys, your fighters, about respecting international humanitarian law. We are also trying to do our own, no matter that. I reminded Banqui about Ngembu, what they did to our people at Ngambu. But that did not stop me. I was not teaching or struggling to train only Sokadefians, 7 kata, and fighters even from mountain lions, the very mountain lions that killed General Opopo. I made sure they were trained in international humanitarian law and international human rights law. I did everything to get ADF involved. ADF could not get involved because my brother recognized the importance of it, but was unable to do that because of the hawks within the ADF. Individuals who don't understand that it is not only your ability to fight that matters. It is being wise and smart that will outclass the enemy in modern day warfare. I advise people in the IG, don't just think that when somebody is a veteran from the US Army, that qualifies him or her to be an expert in guerrilla warfare. The United States of America, the greatest military in the world, even in weaponry, has never succeeded to win a single guerrilla war anywhere in the world. And so don't bring me that shit that a US veteran is having more expertise than people who have done it on the ground, who have mastered it by studying it. They didn't listen to me. Where are the military veterans that they had? They have all absconded. They're in different parts of the world doing different things of their own. And our people are suffering and dying every day. That is why we find ourselves where we are. You go to refugee camps, the refugees are divided between I am pro-X and pro-Y. That is how they are fighting. When an individual gives them something like food or money, that individual wants these refugees to go online and sing their praises. What level of curse are we under? What level of curse? Because no normal people behave this way. We are like a people that they have removed their heart as people will say, when you have been taken in famla, you see your death coming. No matter how much people try to hold you down, you will walk into it straight until you live no more. You've created all the chaos, and yet you are there pretending every day about unity. You have rejected the one person God has kept alive to finish this struggle. Simply because you don't like that individual. Do you think the people of biblical days needed to have love for Elijah, Elisha, Joshua, Moses? Is it an issue of love? Or it is doing what is needed or necessary at that time? Where are your leaders? Where are they? Every one of you who speaks grammar is a leader. Anyone who can communicate well is a leader. Anyone who wears good suits becomes a leader. And even the women have joined that fold. A woman comes into a meeting because she's got a doctorate degree, she turns herself into a leader. If she's not satisfied, she creates her own group. See where we are. See, it becomes an area where we come in to measure the strength of our grammar. That is what this struggle has become. It becomes an area where we measure the strength of our pocket. All the monies you have given, where has it gone to? Look at Lebialem. Let me talk about Mundani, where my father comes from. You find my own brothers from Bichati, where my father hails from, decided to destroy the struggle in Bichati and in Mundani out of mere jealousy. I left it to them. Some jump into IG. They do not know where they belong. They will come back and talk about APLM or SCY at that time. The number of children, of young boys and girls who have been killed in Mundani have died because of these numbskulls. These young men who come from Mundani, who jumped into this struggle, who brought in their hatred and jealousy, and thought that this was some sort of a CPDM SDF rivalry. And their acts of stupidity, of cowardice, of foolishness have led to the death of so many young boys and girls from this beautiful land of ours. Look at what is going on in Lebialem. It became a problem between those in Alo and those from Menji area. They started fighting themselves. People who came to the United States with DV lottery, some who have benefited from the Southern Cameroon struggle, became leaders overnight. I will go to a Lebialem meeting. Nobody cares about me. Nobody pays my fare. But when my brother Chris Ano will come, they will raise money to pay his fare. That is the level of tribalism in this struggle. I remember at one time, there was a meeting that was taking place here in Maryland, organized by IG. My junior brother, Sebastian Bariku, reached out to me and asked me to come to that meeting with my wife. Sako, president of the Internet Republic of Ambazonia. And where did they want me to go? To go and sleep in a hotel in Maryland. Why I am a Marylander? And I asked a simple question. I should leave my house with my wife, come to Maryland and sleep in a hotel. Paid by who? The people of Ambazonia, Southern Cameroonians have contributed their money. They were not paid, they were not supposed to pay it only for me, but for others that they were inviting. Why I can stay in my house, drive my car to that meeting and come back. And that money could be used for something else, better for the struggle. I didn't go for that meeting. But do you think others did not go? No, others went. That is how your money was spent. That is how your money was spent. Every time I go for a meeting, if there is no food, there should be wine. Every time I go for a meeting, when I meet the IG of Comrade Sako, there will be wine and food. They were buying it with a card, whether it was credit card or bank card, money contributed by you people in books. Bunch of idiots. Because what you see is the outer, not the inside. Southern Cameroonians, you are a good example of the curse that has befallen Africa. You just need to dress well, very well. And you come into a place, you will 419 everybody there. In fact, parents, fathers will give you their daughters for marriage. You might have borrowed the shoes, the trousers, everything. Because all what we see is the external, not the internal. That is why we find ourselves where we are today. And you find some other bunch of idiots who started saying that kum kum masa. You will turn against your own people. Let's forget about everything. They kill somebody's son and you use the word kunkumize. I can't really fathom where you guys are coming from. And to you, you think you are not doing anything. You think you are fighting for the other side. How did we find ourselves where we are? Where human body, a human being is no longer important in our eyes. How? How did we find ourselves here? We are where we are today, my dear brothers and sisters, my sons and daughters, my moms and dads. Because each one of you refused to listen to the call of our forefathers, the call of God. You thought Akwanga is not good enough to free you people. And you are still looking for a Messiah. You are still looking for one. Today you call for this meeting. Tomorrow you call for this. Tomorrow you call for that. Even when I hide myself somewhere quietly, when you guys call for those meetings, you still want Akwanga to be part of it. You all met me in this struggle. I started this at the age of 14. When Colonel Titus Malonge and Thomas Ngembus of Bassa Extraction turned against my father, who was working at the Cameroon Development Corporation. I became involved in this struggle when I read telegrams from the United Nations coming from EML Endeli, sent to my father. I became involved in this when my mother was able to explain to me her personal relationship with Ma Elizabeth Muna. My mother wasn't educated as per se, but she was tough in Tico. I became involved when I knew that my father was one of the main planners for the reception of Prime Minister Kwame Nkrumah in Tico when he came to support the cause for Southern Cameroon's full-fledged independence. At the age of 14, anyone who knows me will tell you people this. I became involved. You came up here, you created all type of things. I remember at one time there was a group they call a live program they call Ambombo Live. There were members of SCY who were telling doctor, chairman, please, can you go to the Ambombo Live? That thing is so powerful. We should go there. Let's go and participate. Where is it? Where is it? You guys thought this was a walk in the park. Something that deals with the liberation of a people. A land that you know that when you take out this land, the other side is finished. Finish. Because when you don't have the economy and you don't even have the know-how on managing that a lack of natural resources to build your own country, you are finished. When you do not want to accept the truth, you complain about my voice. I'm shouting. It was not what I was saying. It was the tone, my sound, the sound of my voice. Oh, Akwanga is shouting. Let's go to somebody who speaks very calmly but can steal from us very well. You got Comrade Sako and others. And then you turn and start accusing them. The Comrade Sako wrote an application for you people to bring him, to make him president of Ambazonia. Are you not the same people who went and looked for him? Dr. Common Sense. Was there any application? Was it not out of your stupidity in trying to balance this so-called Northwest-Southwest thing, which I had warned the late Chief Ayamba and others, that you do not bring this type of tribal cleavages into a liberation struggle? You want to balance it. Oh, maybe we should satisfy the Bakure people. They should not be angry. Let's get Sako. You got Sako. And then you started complaining. He's not doing the job. When you got him, did he wrote an application? Was he qualified? You rejected Chris Anu. That he talks a lot. Oh, yes, it's true. And what happened at the end of the day? You have him, you have Comrade Marietta, and you have Sako. 3 presidents in one country, which is not existing yet. 3. You woke up, you said, oh, the United States is not doing X and Y. We discussed with the United States Institute for Peace. The United States Institute for Peace said, okay, this is a beautiful idea. I said, okay, let me bring Comrade Cho Ayaba along. I invited him to come for a meeting. And let me make this very open. The United States Institute for Peace uses the same network with the U.S. State Department. And the U.S. State Department did not want to have anything to do with Comrade Cho Lucas Ayaba. No, I repeat, I'm saying it here openly. They had cancelled him and make sure he never appears on the network. I was able to convince USIP to allow myself and Comrade Ayaba to be in a meeting to discuss with them the person who was put in charge of this particular area. Alongside Barrister Mark Njo, aka Chaps. We had a successful meeting. That is how we gave our blessing for USIP to go forward and organize some sort of a retreat, which took place almost technically opposite the State Department here in the United States. And the people who went there are here in this country. It didn't take too long. In a typical Ag of Sea style, Comrade Ayaba pulled out of it. Because when it comes to world record of joining something and withdrawing from it, Ag of Sea takes the gold medal. At times they don't give any explanation. Somebody will just say, no, we cannot be party to that. We can't be subservient to that. If we go into that, it will make us not to be as powerful as we are. Bam, they withdraw. They don't explain to anybody. They go on their own. Where do they go? They don't go very far. They're just turning around. That is how the consultative committee came to be. I made sure I stayed away from it. I thought I have played my own role to make sure they can come together, meet in DC, and chat a way to see whether this madness can end. It didn't end up there. Why? Because many of you started your own groups. Now I'm seeing some crazy stuff that is coming out from South Africa. Derek, you are sending out something and say, finally, Southern Cameroon's unity is coming. What unity are you talking about? What unity? What exactly unity are you talking about, Comrade Derek? This is where we are in this struggle. And people will say, oh, Dr. Akwanga is acting like he knows all. No, my dear brothers and sisters, everything I speak about, I know what I'm talking about. I do not dabble into things I have no idea. I am an expert in the issues I raise concerns about. You might not like me. You might not like my tone. You might not like my voice. There is nothing you can do. You can change me. Even if you hate me, you are only hurting yourself and putting pain to your conscience. You are not doing anything to me. Nothing. This is the chaos. And as I said before, and I want to repeat, until all of you come back to the house and recognize that the Almighty God that a vast majority of you worship and went to church today to worship, or those of you who say you are Muslims, on Fridays you go to the mosque, or every day you do 5 times prayers to honor and worship and bless. Even to those of you who follow the traditional African religion, if you don't come back to your senses and accept what it is, there will be no freedom for the people of the Southern Cameroons. I am not missing words. Mark my words this day. And it will not be of the doing of La République du Cameroon. It will be as a result of your stupidity, your jealousy, your greed, your ignorance, and your unwillingness to accept that you are dabbling into issues you have no knowledge about. We've killed through our stupidity in Lebialem. So many children have died. And many of the young boys from Bichati in particular, and those from Bamumbu, who were involved in this madness in Mundani, a small area of 8 villages, they are no longer actively involved in the struggle. They thought it was a moment for them to shine. There are few minutes online, but they have become infamous in the annals of the history of our struggle. You know yourselves. You know I can call your names. All of you. Those of you in the UK, those in Sweden or wherever you are. You are numbskulls. You are nothing but a bunch of idiots, imbeciles. I will call you these words. Not because I hate you. Because I love you and I should describe you exactly for who you are. Because when you will get into something and cause the death of so many children, you don't need to run self-defense. Your attitude will lead to their death. Your attitude. You create fake groups. You leave this group. You go to this one. You create your own group. Some will call themselves presidents. They give themselves all type of titles. Some who says they are apostles, they are preachers, they are this. You have become professional liars. You read the Bible downside up. You are exactly the followers of Apostle 2 Corinthians. You know the person who said 2 Corinthians, not 2 Corinthians. You are exactly his followers. See the struggle. You are sleeping, you are snoring, you are enjoying yourself. What have people become? Southern Camerooners have become experts in organizing cultural festivities. Manju cultural celebration this year. Fako cultural this. Makuda, that one they say is coming out in South Africa. What are you guys not doing? Soon somebody will come here and say, oh, chairman, I'm sorry, I'm going to see my chief. My chief just come. Those traditional rulers, why are they coming to the US? What are they coming to do here? To beg for money. A people who cannot hold their people together, who are not prepared to sacrifice their own life for their own subjects, their own kinsmen and women, are unworthy to become the custodians of the traditions of any land. You invite them to the US. You keep them in hotels. You take some tiger bags or whatever what I call, you put on chairs for them to sit on it. Kings. They too think they have arrived. Why they have participated in the slaughtering of their own subjects. You bring them to the US and keep them here. Oh, our chief don't come. We're fun there around. Fun. It is not F-O-N. It is actually F-U-N. They are actually fun. That is what they have become. Something funny. Because they have become useless. Useless. These are people whose libation might no longer work. Because they have destroyed everything about themselves. Everything destroyed. What have we not done? Even the people that have insulted me, have castigated me, have lied against me, have even struggled to murder me amongst my own people. For the sake of the struggle, I have bent backwards to allow myself to be walked on. To find a way to bring all of them together to tell them, listen, this is not why I came into this struggle. This is not why I said we need to free ourselves from bondage. What have you guys done? What have you done? See what you are doing. They turn against you, all because of your stupidity. See the curse you have brought to our land. And you will tell me that, oh, doctor, no. If I don't say these things, I'm not going to sleep well. I feel the pain in me. Because I know each one of you by name for the role you have played in messing up this struggle and causing the death of our people. I know each one of you. I know you. Those who have eaten with me, those who have not eaten with me. There is even one lady who is a medical doctor who used to come over for Southern Cameroon's Youth League before it became APLM. The moment Comrade Ayok got into the struggle, do you know what she did? She said, no, that was my classmate in GHS, Manfe. She jumped the train and joined Comrade Ayok. That is how they operate in this struggle. No reason, no cause. That is how they operate. Then you have a bunch of 419ers who come in. They were duping people, collecting monies left and right. People giving their money. Somebody will call me, doctor, yes, we want to give you support. But can you find Comrade Ayaba to come along? I will carry Comrade Ayaba, put him in a car, drive him kilometers to go and sit in a meeting. Not a dime will come out. That is how they gradually strangle the struggle. What haven't we seen? All the people who were involved, I no longer see them. Coco Blinks. All of them, where are they? They've insulted them out of the struggle. Mami Jera, where are they? Where are all these people? Because none of them are going to tell me that they have insulted them more than myself out of this struggle. Keep aside the personal sacrifices. None will tell me that. So don't bring me that shit that, oh, you were insulted. No, you have not received 1/3 of the insult I've received. The attacks, the labeling, some of you even participated in it. So that is not good enough for you to take the people, reach somewhere and abandon them. You won't work with Dr. Akwanga. He looks very small. He's not as rich as you expect him to be. He's not working in a well-known place and the rest. See where you find yourself. I was in Nigeria. After having escaped from prison. Only having an advanced level certificate. But I was received by Nigeria's foreign minister, Professor Oluyemi. I lived in Nigeria for 3 years. 3. After escaping from prison. Let me show you how God touches his own. God's anointed cannot be destroyed. 3 years. 3. In Nigeria. Under President Mato Oreku Obasanjo regime or government. I met with foreign minister Oluyemi, Professor Oluyemi. I went to that meeting with Fortune Alphonse John, who could testify, so that somebody don't say Dr. Akwanga is lying. For 3 years. Cameroon even wanted to use me as part of the negotiation deal for the Green Tree Peace Agreement. over Bakassi. President Obasanjo say over his dead body. They are not a criminal. 3 years in Nigeria, 3 years. I wasn't teaching in a university. I wasn't a doctor. I have only my advanced level certificate. In fact, I've even escaped from prison. It was not like I just walked across the border. 3 years. When Nigeria would have just arranged with Cameroon in Yaoundé and bundled me back. Yet, I had a 90 minutes meeting with Professor Oluyemi, the foreign minister in his office. I went to the National Assembly. I did not only meet the leaders of the National Assembly of Nigeria. I met some senators. Some from Taraba State. 3 years in Nigeria. Because of me, I brought 27 persons in this country. Because of me, including the late Justice Ebon and his family. 27. And the vast majority come from Mogamo clan, Momo. Why was I not arrested in Nigeria? Or kidnapped and sent back? Why? Why? When I use the word, Johnny just come, you people said Dr. Akwanga was insulting. No. I was using a metaphor to carry out an apt description of what was going on at that time. It was an apt description. And many of you could not withstand the truth because you've been brought up in a system where you do not call out, in quote, leadership. No matter how genuine your critique might be, you are a criminal. That is the way they will see it. You all came after me. Oh, Dr. Akwanga has done this. Who is he to call our president? His Excellency. That is the word that has destroyed Africa, His Excellency. They throw it this way, throw it that way. Where are we today? What happened? 3 years after escaping from prison, organizing a press conference at Sheraton Hotel in Nigeria. Even after so many people, including Professor Anyangwe, with the late Dr. Anoboyoma, has pleaded that we should not do that, that I could be killed. I missed 5 assassinations in Nigeria, 5. Anga George Tebo could testify for 5 in Nigeria. And the person who was involved in these 5 assassinations was the area which Echo was handling. But because of Southern Cameroons, because of the love I have for you people and my homeland, I took the risk to sit down with Echo, with my own delegation, when he was sent by Mr. Bia to sit down and talk with me. I was not afraid that I could be kidnapped because my own people have already been kidnapped from Yaoundé, from Nigeria and taken to Yaoundé. I was not scared of being kidnapped. I was not scared of what would happen to me. I took that risk to sit in a meeting with him in a foreign country to discuss one-on-one on how we could resolve this matter to the benefit of all sides. How many of you are capable of doing that? At the time I was doing that, you were doing contribution to IG, to Sako and others, only for you to turn and insult them. I go out, I dance as a Bakure man. Members of Agosi will insult me. Oh, Dr. Akwanga has gone to prop up Sako to do this. Nobody wants me to associate. I associate with Ayaba. They say, oh, Dr. Akwanga has gone back to Ayaba because Ayaba is his brother, is his junior brother, he's associating. Where have I not turned to? You throw insults. You were looking for every means to make sure you can destroy this struggle. Hey, if we destroy Akwanga, we've destroyed everything. This is my brother, John Jinjo, who is here. He took his time and produced what we might call a masterpiece anthem for the Southern Cameroons. Though I am not happy because he spent close to $50,000 to pay the US military musical team to play that anthem. When I brought it, what did you people do? What have you not done? You even changed the anthem, which has sent people's children to prison, where people's children have sworn and sang and died for. You came in because you want it to be, it is our own. You changed the anthem. The only thing we were unable to change was the flag. And then you sit, you are asking yourself, where did we go wrong? That is the question you're asking yourself. My wife paid flight ticket for Comrade Nelson Banga, who is my brother, and Depep Sinchi to go down to South Africa, where we're supposed to have a meeting to go and compose, to play music for the struggle. She lost that money because that trip never took place. Only for me to sit here and I'm seeing trucks traveling all over. Magic Finger wants to go and play music in South Africa for Makuda. That is what we have transformed ourselves into. The struggle is dead. Everybody now is independent. Want to go and play music? Where's the struggle? Oh, Longa was being beaten. Has Longa suffered 1/3 of what I went through? You tell me whether IS feed people with human physics. For 2 weeks, La Republique they give me shit and peace for chop and for drink. 2 good weeks. That is how La Republique fed me. For that period of time, for 24 months, I went through mock execution almost every night. They said I will never touch the Bible. And the only Bible that was available was this small blue Gideon Bible. The story was, if I touch a Bible, I would disappear. They took the Bible away from me. When one headmistress who is from Bulu, from the same tribe with Bia, she is a member of the EPC, Église Presbyterian du Cameroon, tried to give me a Bible, it was all hell break loose. They sexually molested me, gendarmes, female gendarmes. Put me on a balançoire. I suffered partial paralysis of my lower limb. It is there online. Even the United Nations reported about it. For 3 good years, I was paralyzed. 3. You can go and find out from people like Deningo or Takang Philip, who came from PNT. The PNT issue that involved Mochipu Seydou. They saw me in prison. I was moving with a cane for 3 years. 3. I was never treated. Oh. One day at 3 p.m., that cane cut into 2. That is how Akwanga, Ebenezer, Derek Mbongo Akwanga started working. After 3 years. Those who saw me in the military tribunal, including Francis Nguaneba and others, will testify. I will climb that truck. When I come to, I had a cane at the military tribunal. I was paralyzed. All of this side. Paralyzed. Sorry about that. All of this, paralyzed. My mouth was twisted this way. But that was not good enough for you people. You wanted a leader. And you were allowed to choose one. And what happened? Where is the struggle today? Where is it? You tell me where the struggle is. I have some members, some friends who are part of APLM. They ran to Agofsi. I told them, my people, it is totally wrong that every person that you arrest, you have to kill the person. They say, Chairman, we don't have room for prisons. You are fighting a war of liberation. You have your own people, even those who are your own members, who have been picked up and locked up by the enemy. You do not think it is an opportunity to get a few of their own important people to use for negotiation, for exchange. Then you definitely have smoked something on the wrong side. That is why we find ourselves where we are today. A struggle where a fighter of Sokadev dies. Somebody from Agofsi celebrates. Somebody from ADF dies. Somebody from the interim government celebrates. What type of fight is that? As if these children are sacrificing their lives for some utopian nation, country that is somewhere else. It is not here on earth. That is what you guys have been doing. You are pastors, you are apostles, you are, how do they call them again? You are evangelists. In fact, all of them have been corrupted by the myopic idea of selectionism. They have gone through their brothers. I know this one in school. You are not looking for what will work. You are looking for what you think you can feel at ease with. Not knowing that the issue of freedom has nothing to do with feeling at ease. It's ruffling shoulders. It's making sure you achieve what you want to achieve. Even if you are going to make some people angry, that anger will be short-lived if you finally obtain that freedom. See where we are. Today, all churches in the southern Cameroons are at loggerheads with the churches in La République. You are all aware that not too long ago, Bishop Mkeya, the moderator of the PCC and others, they came to the US, even went to Canada. Do you know that the church, in quote, the house of God in La République du Cameroon refused to be party to this? They said they would take sides with Biya. So let me ask you people, even those of you who are from La République, one country, reading the same Bible, where they have already divided themselves. So how is God going to listen to you people? There is the church of Southern Cameroon and the church of La République. In fact, it has become the creation of the black church in America, in the United States. Because slavery created the black church. Where, in quote, the Negro was never allowed to go to church to worship God with the white folks who were their masters. That is how the church has been reduced in La République du Cameroon and the Southern Cameroons. Everybody is in their own end. So even the prayers that they give do not work. I'm telling you this, I'm not hiding it. God is not listening to those prayers. The church in our homeland and the church in La République are worse than the Pharisees and the Sadducees. Their own case will be worst when the time of judgment will come. So this is why we find ourselves where we are today. You're not going anywhere until you turn back to your roots. I will say this. Some of you can call me any name you want to call. This struggle is not going anywhere. Read my lips. Call yourself chairman, president, king, or anything. If you want freedom for the people of the former British Southern Cameroons, if you want freedom for the land we have named Ambazonia, you must stop your madness and understand that it is not about grammar or your tribe or your classmate or your money friend that matters. It is about what has been, is to be. If you do not come back to the fold, we will lose this liberation struggle. Not because the enemy is better than us. Because we are worse to ourselves than the enemy to us. I'm serious. This is the reality. I even sat in one meeting, I said, listen, I know some people have put in money through some of you people with the goals that they want the Southern Cameroons where they are going to build the roads. That is why they invested through you. They know they can't bribe Dr. Akwanga. If Akwanga stands there, they will not succeed. Some have contributed their monies that they will build hospitals. Some already are envisioning contracts without first having the country. I understand that. It is human greed. And I say these things in the open. If any of you have your facts against me, bring it out there. Don't say Dr. Akwanga took monies, Dr. Akwanga did this. I have a case against La République. La République has refused to even pay compensation, which I won in 2011. Because to them, they shouldn't pay me compensation. They don't think I have any personal thing in life, that I don't deserve to live a better life or look after my own family or grandkids. I will only take that money to invest in the struggle. That is it. And some of you think that when you go to Facebook, you throw insults and the rest. See, by the time you joined the struggle in 2017, there were schools in Europe that were already studying Ebenezer Akwanga in the law classes. So you're wasting your time. You can't be me. I won't be you. So just cut your coat according to your size. No amount of trying to compete will solve this problem. I am who I am, you are who you are. You have two options. Line up, all of you, even with your good intention, behind me to finish this struggle. Line up, all of you, behind me to finish this struggle. I am not interested to become your prime minister or president. I have one goal, to get La République du Cameroon off the back of my homeland and my people. If you are not willing to do that, then find a means to murder me, so that the good Lord, the Almighty God, Jehovah Elohim, might create someone else to take over what he has asked me to do. In life, you do not survive what I have survived by yourself. You do not. There is no magic in it. You do not. Physics is waste. Urine is waste. To eat it and drink it for 2 weeks and survive. To be locked up in solitary confinement for 2 years and survive. To be sexually molested by female gendarmes and survive. For gendarmes to play with your private, to take your penis and take it like a game, like they were playing Ludo, and survive. This is the boot of a gun. This one. Not even capsule entered here. It treated itself. To be put on a balançoire, bent with plastic bags, forced to dance singing beer before God and survive. To go through all of this does not make me someone who had not sinned. No. It is because when you are here for a mission, until that mission is completed, no man born of a woman can extinguish you. It is too much. The suffering and hardship on our people is unbearable. So many young girls have lost their future. In fact, they have lost their lives. No matter what we do, they can't regain what they have lost. They become mothers while they were still teenagers. Babies become moms for other babies. Young boys were transformed into bandits and to live fake lives. Fathers and moms have to do things that they are not supposed to do to keep the family going. And in the course of all of this struggle, those of you who are professional fraudsters have perfected your way. Not duping the other side, the enemy, for our benefit, but duping our people for the detriment of the struggle. You will have to line up behind me. That is your only choice that you have now. You have to line up for us to finish this struggle. And then any of you with aspirations to become whatever can become. But if you do not, as you have already shown up to this moment, I can assure you, not even your children's children we have freedom for the former British Southern Cameroons. This is not a curse. This is reality. Because I know all of you. I know what all of you have done. I can call names of people who refused to listen. They landed themselves in prison in the United States. There is a time for everything. There is a time for everything. I do not speak for this length of time because I'm happy. I speak because I am very angry. I'm angry because human life has become nothing to the vast majority of you people. You don't care. You don't think. All what is important is baby shower, marriages, and all sorts of crazy stuffs. That is what is important for you. You think life is over. I understand. Some of you have invested in La Republique. Some of you are only thinking that when Christmas is coming, you need to fly back to go eat soya, drink 3-3 export, deceive the other young girls who are there. Or you, young women out here who have made useless of your lives. You need to rush back there to look for a husband. I get you. I get it. But life is greater than that. It is bigger than you as an individual. It is bigger than your community, bigger than your tribe, bigger than your chief or your phone. What is at stake is the very survival of a people. That is what is at stake. Yaoundé is waiting for the last few of you to sleep so that those who were sentenced in life imprisonment could die in perpetuity in their dungeons. That's what Yaoundé is waiting. And you would have participated in sentencing them to life imprisonment. For the young men and women who have died, those who have faced extrajudicial executions, your hand is not free from that. You might not have another time to change. This might be your only time. My name is Ebenezer Derek Mbongo Akwanga. They call me Mulambongo Moluta. You know the meaning of the name Ebenezer if you are a Christian. You know the meaning of the name Mbongo if you are a Bakweria. If you are in Wanamokwe. I am not perfect. But my imperfection will not stop me from telling you exactly as I see it. You might get angry. You might insult me as you have done before. You might say whatever you want to say. But you can't change the truth. Facts remain facts. There will never be two Akwanga. There will never be two Ebenezer Mbongo Akwanga in this struggle. It's just me. And when I took up this battle, this fight, this struggle, when I was just 14 years old, I knew there would be rough days ahead, very rougher days. And I remember what someone said to me in the waiting room at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Nigeria. This struggle you are involved in, do you think your people really stand with you? And many years later, I'm asked to reflect on that particular statement. There are thousands of you who have benefited using Southern Cameroons. Some who have nothing to do with it. You've gotten asylum in the United States, in different countries, using this struggle. And what have you given back? Forgetting to know that other people's children, parents, sacrifice so much for you to use it for your own benefit. What have you given back? You will get angry that, oh, you tried to do your best, you went to meetings, you were taken away. Why have I not abandoned the struggle? I remember one of my brother from Balunga Grammar School in Moliko, Atiabet, made a statement that Akwanga is your thing. If you want to die for the struggle, that is your business. And even when I said I'm prepared to die for the struggle, they said, no, we don't want you to die on our behalf. That is exactly what many of you Christians would have told Jesus. You are there on the cross crying, you need water to drink, you are thirsty. Who asked you to die for us? Eh? Who asked you to die for us? Look at this carpenter's son. That is exactly what many of you would have said. Some of you who cloak yourself as apostles of God, evangelists, pastors, men and women of God. That is the same question you would have asked Christ. There is an issue that is ongoing back home. I'm trying to handle that issue with Gutierrez's office in New York, the Central African desk. And this has to do with Western humanitarian organizations. I won't say anything now until I am done with that meeting and that consultation. And I'll need to speak to you people to make sure that the lives of the combatants at home will no longer be jeopardized. This is the way I operate. When Comrade Ayaba was picked up, some of you came online and you were writing all types of trash, gibberish. I do not operate for popularity. All what I do, I work behind the scene. I come out when it is necessitated by something. When it becomes that necessary, that is when I will speak. Otherwise, I have no reason to be here. But I can assure you that I'll be back soon. And I'm going to talk about a lot of things. And even about a few Western organizations who have become fronts of La République du Cameroon. I will call out names. And I will spell them out. There is no time to hold back. So my people, that is the option. I am not a politician. I am a liberationist. I am not perfect, but I try to do my best. When I said we should defend ourselves, that it is our right to pick up arms, I never said we should have arms to use to terrorize our people. No, I never said we should turn those arms against our own blood. I merely said that we have marched peacefully for too long. And the only language, unfortunately, that the international community understands, that they might even say a single word, it is when we develop the capacity to defend ourselves. And even those of you who rejected self-defense and jumped into it, did not say, oh, this man said we need to defend ourselves. So since we are now agreeing that we should defend ourselves, let us go to him and join hands with him and ask him, how do we move forward? You didn't do that. You thought it was an opportunity to make money for yourself. To make a short-lived name. And today, we find ourselves where we are. Not because the enemy is powerful, but because of our stupidity, our greed, our ignorance, and our patience for power, which is not even there. Our homeland comes first. And this is the time for each one of you who truly wants freedom to do the right thing. For now, I'm not asking for your money. I am asking you to stop the chaos. Line up behind me and let us finish this job. That is the word I will say. And the only way this job can be finished is through a negotiated settlement. I repeat, I am not asking for your money. I am asking you to line up behind me. Because nobody is bold enough. Everybody is a president. I'm asking all of you. Because all of you met me in this struggle. All of you line up behind me for us to finish this struggle so that we can take away the sufferings of our people during our lifetime. If you don't do that, every other thing you throw out here will be gibberish. As always, you will not make a step further. No matter how hard you try. This is the message. It might be uncomfortable. It might be hurtful. You might see it as a threat to the position you hold at the moment in your individual groups or organizations or associations. But that doesn't matter to me. What matters is what do we get out of all these human sacrifices? What do we get for our people? After so much destruction of our homeland, what exactly do we get? Have we become like them or worse than them? The answer is yours. Thank you.